Racing team plows through bar, killing 3. Toy thieves jailed for stealing Christmas. War in Ukraine may trigger blackouts in Guyana. And why men need to do better. I am Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Last night, 19-year-old Matthew David Aaron Ambedkar killed 3 people and injured several others after the vehicle he was driving plowed into Sharmila Harikissoon Sports Bar on the De Willem Public Road on the west coast of Demerara. Police said that at around 10 p.m., Ambedkar was racing another vehicle on the road when he lost control of his father's vehicle and crashed into a parked SUV and then into 3 patrons of the sports bar. They were identified as 23-year-old Venezuelan national Carlito Gobindlaw, 41-year-old fisherman Cyram Rampasod, and 44-year-old fisherman Ayube Mohammed. 2 others were injured as well. They have been identified as Wazim Mohammed and another man identified thus far as Joey. Ambedkar is currently in the hospital recovering from his injuries, while the police are currently searching for the other racing vehicle. The chairman of Region 4, Daniel Cyram, and his father-in-law, Shahid Hamid, are under investigation after they were accused of threatening to shoot each other in front of Movietown early Sunday morning. Both accused each other of pulling out a gun after the other started the argument. That was only ended after Movietown security intervened. However, they both denied being the aggressor, nor being the one to actually pull out their gun. Both Cyram and Hamid's gun were taken away, and they were both arrested pending investigations. They were both released on self-bail shortly thereafter. On Monday, 2 real-life grinches were sentenced to 18 months in prison for breaking into the Nerva supermarket in Georgetown and carting off with over $700,000 worth of toys. 49-year-old Brian Singh and 37-year-old Jermaine Manning confessed that between November 2nd to the 3rd, 2021, they broke into the supermarket and stole a number of toys. The incident was caught on CCTV footage. Last night, firefighters stopped a blaze that destroyed a marriage office in Lusignan. 3 fire engines responded to the call when it came in at about 8 p.m. The fire was contained to the building of origin and did not spread to neighboring BM-soaked auto sales to the east and a Chinese-operated glass factory to the west. Based on preliminary reports, the fire was electrical in nature. The fire service said that one eyewitness saw sparks and heard an explosion shortly after power returned after a power outage. Following over 2 weeks of searching, the Ministry of Home Affairs says they are approaching the point where they may have to abandon the search for the 3 missing fishermen. Minister Ben said the search has been a long one with no trace of the fishermen or their boat thus far. This has also renewed calls for there to be more done to actually keep the people safe on the high seas. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is its 2014 RDQ3. It comes with Bluetooth, mug rims, no tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, butt camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $5.6 million, or pay down as low as $1,120,000 down, with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Roche, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them the Rica sent you for this sweet deal. On Monday, career criminal Oren Favorite was remanded to prison for allegedly stealing a cell phone from a Bishop's High School student. He pleaded not guilty to the charge, which alleged that on January 20th, 2022, at Carmichael Street, Georgetown, he stole the victim's cell phone. Because this isn't the first time he's been charged with a robbery, and in fact he's actually facing charges for another robbery currently in front of the court denied him bail and remanded him to his favorite place, prison, until March 28th, 2022. Over in Burpees, a group of farmers from Blackbush Polder are vexed over the sudden decrease in prices millers are willing to pay per ton of rice. One group picketed outside of Raya Dul Haq Rice Industries, while others have gathered at locations along the quarantine coast. iNews Guyana says that previously, millers paid $70,000 per ton, but now they are offering $65,000 Guyana dollars per ton. The protesting farmers have placed a tractor and trailer to block the road at Les Beholden, shutting off sections of that polder and the entire Mibikuri area. Regional Chairman David Armagan has since met with some of the farmers and listened to their concerns. What is coming of it, I have no idea. The Rona hasn't been defeated as just yet, and already the Ministry of Health has set a goal to eliminate another 5 infectious diseases in Guyana by 2030. With help from local health experts, PAHO and the WHO, a 5-year plan is being conceptualized to tackle 5 neglected infectious diseases. The announcement of the plan was made during a planning workshop that examined how best Guyana could completely rid itself of leprosy. Yes, the same leprosy, it's not just a biblical disease. Filaria, Chagas disease, soil-transmitted helminths, and leishmaniasis. The 5-year plan is as a result of the World Health Organization identifying 20 infectious diseases that have been historically neglected. So there may soon be an end to Bigfoot and, well, leprosy in this nation, I guess. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. It's now time for today's Rona Report. Today, the nation recorded 14 new cases. There are now 1,233 persons dead, 4 in the ICU, 211 in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 61,612. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now for an oil update. Even though Guyana is currently one of the fastest growing oil producers in the world, GPL is bracing the public for the possibility of blackouts, as, well, mainly thanks to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. GPL's landed cost for fuel today is approximately US $140 per barrel, according to them. And that has quadrupled from 2016, when the fuel price was approximately $30 US per barrel. GPL currently utilizes approximately 3,700 barrels of fuel daily for electricity generation at a cost of approximately 111.5 million Guyana dollars per day. This increase has moved GPL's total monthly operating expenses to approximately 4.5 billion Guyana dollars against monthly electricity sales of approximately 3 billion Guyana dollars, or a full 1.5 billion Guyana dollars into the negative. They are asking the public to conserve energy as much as possible. However, Guyana could have avoided much of this if they had just built a modular oil refinery. It can be built for less than $1 billion. Some of them can even be made for about $500 million, and they can produce around 70,000 or even 100,000 barrels of oil today, which is around what we would actually need on a nationwide scale, not just for electricity creation. Anyway, the building one will also help us to insulate ourselves from cost fluctuations like we're currently seeing right now. Nevertheless, with the US showing that it's serious about replacing Russian oil exports abroad with other sources, it's obvious that prices will go up even further, with some traders expecting prices to even go up to $200 per barrel. While this will mean that we will earn more for our actual oil sales as a nation, of course it means the average Guyanese will suffer at the fuel tank. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your very own home in 2021. Lenore Estates, West Coast MRR properties are within your reach. Move out to the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 for more info. Now for our super news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Just how poorly women are treated in society. Today is International Women's Day, the one day when all the dedications to the ladies are plastered all over Facebook from the people who claim to respect women. But once the day is over, everyone goes back to the same awful women-hating ways. Instead of saying we value women with our words, men need to do a better job at showing it with their actions instead. Not only do we need to respect women as adults, but men need to also teach boys to respect all women as well. Not just the moms or just the girlfriends, but all women. The focus is always on telling women and girls to avoid abusers, instead of telling men not to abuse. We need to show boys that they need to find healthy ways to deal with stress and with the conflicts that will come up in their lives. They need to know that there is never a good reason to hit a woman. And in addition to that, the police need to stop taking such situations seriously. You almost never hear of a man who just up and wakes up one day, kills his woman, and just runs off without any warning. That's insane. I mean, usually that's when a person is gone insane. But in most of these domestic violence situations, 90% of the time, they call the police to report a previous beating only to be ignored or not taken seriously, and then it just disappears. I could go on, but what I'm trying to say is Happy International Women's Day. Hopefully we will one day reach a time when the day will be needless, as every day will be Women's Day. It's now time for our Uncut News Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday's question was, do you think the U.S. meeting with Venezuela will eventually lead to improved relations, or is it all just talk? Jay Garnett seems to believe that it's all idle talk. Like Sentinel says, talks between USA and Venezuela could go either way. Seeing as Venezuela has more oil than we do, they could argue for the rights to arms as a part of the trade. And depending on the price they agree to, the US just might back them. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I told you, they have more oil than us, and they are more desperate than us. Bucks and Spice says it could go either way. Gas prices in the US is important because many blame increases directly on the president, regardless if it's their fault, and with the midterm elections coming up, nothing to lose. Indeed. And finally, Mark's Britain says, I think the US will pitch a deal with Venezuela, because the House wants to pass a bill to ban all Russian oil imports. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. I live in Orlando, Florida, and gas prices are already $4 a gallon for regular gas. Good Lord, that's expensive. I'm sure glad, it's bad here, but that's just terrible. Now for tonight's question. Given the current strain oil prices are currently having on GPL, do you feel the government should try to intervene, or should they just wait and see how things pan out? So, think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.